everyone and welcome back. If you are new here then hello, my name is Zoe and this is my YouTube channel. Today we are getting close up and personal with the eyes again. I'm going to be sharing today a tutorial on how to get the perfect smoky under eyes every time. So you're only going to need 4 things for this makeup tutorial. The first one being the eyeshadow palette that you've used for your eyes. This technique will work with any colour combination as well, so any palette that you've used, it doesn't have to be this. I'm using, well, I have used already the Kylie, is this the bronze palette? Yeah, the bronze palette. This is actually one of my favourite palettes because it's just got all of the colours that I like to wear in here. So I've used that on my eyes today. An eyeliner, black or brown. I'm going to be using a black today because I want it to be quite smoky and I don't want you to shy away from black eyeliner. Sometimes it can be a little bit scary. So I'm using one from Fenty Beauty. And then the last 2 things is brushes. The first one, try and find something that's like a really small fluffy like pencil brush. This one is the M149. Anything that's like dainty but like has a little bit of movement in there as well. And then the last thing is like a flat definer brush if you've got one. This is a Morphe M408, but anything that's a little bit more dense and like very thin, fine and precise. They're the only 4 things that you will need today. So the trick with a smoky under eye is mirroring on the under eye what you've done on the top. So I've done like a brown smoky eye, so we'll blend out our transition colours quite far, and then the darker that we go with the eyeshadow, the less we blend it out, and that is like more concentrated in a smaller area. So that's what we're going to do with the under eyes. We're going to use the exact same colours. So again, any colour combination that you've used on your eyes already, do exactly the same underneath, and you cannot go wrong with this technique. I promise, it's so easy. First thing that I am going to do is line my waterline. This is an optional step, but I think it makes a massive difference if you line your waterline to create that really nice like sultry smoky eye. It's not for everyone and not everyone is comfortable with lining their waterline, so if you're not, skip this step, but if you are able to, it just makes such a huge difference. So my first step, lining a waterline, and I'm terrible at doing this without pulling like stupid faces. I've lined my waterline, that's already made such a massive difference. Okay, so now we're going in with our eyeshadow palette. So for the top of my eyes, I've used today this one as my transition, and then I've deepened it a little bit with this one, and then the black just on the very outer corner. So I'm going to mirror exactly what I've done on the top underneath. So I'm using my fluffy brush to start with. It's got like a little bit more movement and it's nice and precise, but it's still going to blend and smoke out your eyeshadow really easily as well. So I'm going to take this all underneath. With my first transition shade, I do like to bring this down quite far because you can see I've got a few creases to my concealer, which I always get creases on my under eyes because I am so dry. I do have a tutorial on how to limit the creasing, but this will also help disguise those lines. So I bring my eyeshadow down just to where those little creases are and really buff it out, and it really does help disguise them and it does make it look super smoky. The further you bring it down, obviously the smokier it's going to look. Okay, so that's my first transition shade down. You can already tell how nice and more smokier it looks on this side. You could just leave it like that, but we can do better and it's so easy to elevate it a little bit more. Okay, so now I'm going to go in with a slightly deeper shade, and because we're going a bit deeper and a bit darker, we're not going to blend it out as far as this one that we've already applied. I'm going to stick to this brush, but I'm going to keep it closer to the lash line, and I'm only going, say, 3/4 of the way through the lash line. So this one we're keeping it closer to the lash line. You can make silly faces if you need to, I always need to. So I'm taking it about 3/4 of the way in. You can see it just deepens it up a bit on the outer corner, mirroring what we've done on top, and it just adds a little bit more dimension. How much nice and smokier it looks now we've added the second shadow. Okay, now at the final step, I'm going to switch to the more flat and more precise definer brush. I'm going to go in with the deepest shade that we've used. So this black one in the outer corner, that's what I've used on the very outer corner of the top of my eye. This one I'm going to take on this flat definer brush, and I'm going to really press this in to my lower lashes as close as I can get to them as possible, and I'm also going to keep this even further to the outer corner. So this one I probably will only blend to where my pupil is. Okay, so pressing the black, I'm just wiggling the brush stamping it into the very outer corner. Again, because it's the deepest shade, this is the least that we're going to blend out. And then just like that, you have achieved the perfect, most seamless smoky under eye, and it's just so easy. I love this technique. Okay, so I've just completed this eye as well in the exact same way that I've done this one. It literally took me about 2 minutes to do. It's just so easy, but just look how more like sultry and smoky the under eyes look. I absolutely love how it turned out, and it's my favourite way to do a smoky under eye. So I really hope that you guys take some of these techniques away and try them, and I hope you find it a lot more easier to smoke out your under eye. I really hope you did enjoy today's video. Let me know if you did down in the comments. Please give it a big thumbs up as well, and don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you next week in my next one. Bye!